Welcome back to Danganronpa V3. The fourth class trial is coming to a close, but Kaito still won't let the verdict be decided. I had a feeling that this was coming up right now, so...
I'll never accept this! Don't you know Gonta at all? He's not the kind of guy who kills someone. Don't you know that about him by now? I'll never accept this! Don't you know Gonta at all? God damn it! Why won't you believe Gonta? Why are you listening to Kokichi? Aren't you my sidekick? Wake up, Shuichi! Why won't you believe Gonta? Why are you listening to Kokichi? Aren't you my sidekick? Wake up, Shuichi!
I think I'm getting better at this.
Believe Gonta! Why are you listening? Damn it! Who do you want to believe? Remember what Kokichi has done to us! Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us! How could Gonta be the culprit? Still want to accuse him, huh? You say the truth this, the truth that, but there's a reason Gonta's not the culprit! Who do you want to believe? Remember what Kokichi has done to us! Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us! How could Gonta be the culprit? Still want to accuse him, huh? You say the truth this, the truth that, but there's a reason Gonta's not the culprit! Who do you want to believe? Remember what Kokichi has done to us! Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us! How could Gonta be the culprit? Still want to accuse him, huh? You say the truth this, the truth that, but there's a reason Gonta's not the culprit! Who do you want to believe? Damn it!
Ooh, that got intense.
There's no way to leave the mansion.
Toilet
on the rooftop.
paper discovered outside of the mansion.
It ends here. Damn it!
The toilet paper we found outside the mansion.
Oh man.
That's what the culprit used to get from the roof to the ground.
The toilet paper?
Yep.
The same toilet paper that was used as the murder weapon. That's why we didn't find it anywhere else.
Didn't I say that as soon as we found it?
Scene of the crime, nor on Miu's body. It was outside the mansion.
Hold on. If they use the toilet paper as a rope to get down from the roof, then they need to tie it to something. But there was nothing to tie it to. I know because I investigated the roof.
You're stubborn, Kaito. You're still going on about this.
Of course I am! I'm gonna believe in Gonta till the very end!
No, there was something that the toilet paper could have been tied to.
Was there?
What?
Yes, the place where the toilet paper was tied down. Oh, the binoculars.
There! The binoculars on the rooftop. The toilet paper could have been tied there. However, I don't think the culprit actually tied it down there. They just hung it.
That's right, because if they tied it, they wouldn't have been able to get it back, because it wouldn't have torn.
And then used the doubled up toilet paper to climb down.
Hmm.
But in that case, they would have had to tug on it in order to take it down.
Yep, that's correct. Because I came up with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I told Gonta to put the toilet paper back in the bathroom.
I guess he didn't have a chance.
Oh, I guess he ran into someone on the way and then threw it somewhere close by.
Yeah.
like Kaito's morale is shot, so this whole thing is done now.
The matter does appear to be settled.
That... it's...
So, it's true. Going to really kill Mew.
Oh my god.
But I'm the one who came up with the plan. Anyway, just admit your crime, Gonta. Even though you don't remember, you still did it.
But why did Gonta do such a terrible thing?
Wait, before you start crying, you gotta admit your crime first.
Stop. I won't let you, Kokichi. If anyone is gonna get him to confess, it's me.
Ooh, Shuichi.
Gonta, I'm going to look back at the whole case one more time, okay? When you're convinced, you just let me know, all right? Let's end this together.
Okay.
God, my heart cannot take this. Here we go, closing argument. What color cord did the culprit stick in the right port? Oh god, do we have a cord? It doesn't look like we do. So let's go this way. What did Miyu bring from Shuichi's lab? That would be the bottle of poison, which is... Do we have that? I thought I saw that. There, yeah. What was posted in the entrance hall of the mansion? Do we have a map? Cell phone, toilet paper, Kaito logging out, lattice, not lettuce, and the map. There we go. What did Miyu do when the others left for the mansion? She went through the wall. Oh man. Who was investigating the roof? We don't have any people yet, do we? So no, none of that. What did Miyu use when she got to the mansion? That have to be the cell phone to log Kaito out. Who was logged out against their will? Kaito. What was the weapon Miyu brought to kill Kokichi? We don't have that yet. What did the culprit use to strangle Miyu? Toilet paper. To move the body off the roof, what was taken out of the storage room? That's the lattice. What's this last one here? How did the culprit escape from the roof? Toilet paper. So we don't have that. That was the weapon, which is the hammer. What have we got here? Throwing the signboard in the river. Oh, so this is what she did here. Threw the signboard in the river. What have we got? Kaito. He was on the roof. Binoculars and the toilet paper was the way that they escaped. Blue cord on the right, red cord on the left. The culprit was supposedly outside, right? Shuichi was in the kitchen. So this has to be Samugi, the last one. Which means that is the culprit.
This is the truth of the case. The case began last night. After being convinced by Mew, we all logged into the virtual world. To log in, you have to plug the memory and consciousness cords into the device. So, we all plugged those cords into our helmets and entered the virtual world. But the culprit had accidentally plugged their cords into the wrong ports.
And this whole time I thought it was going to be Himiko. God.
Because of this, a connection error occurred between the culprit's brain and their avatar.
This has no bearing on the murder. It just made the trial more difficult. But I still feel like Himiko's gonna feel so guilty about this.
As a result, the culprit would forget everything that happened in the virtual world. It's possible that this had an effect on their avatar's personality as well. Because I can't believe that someone so kind could commit murder. But we had no idea this error even happened. And so, we all logged in one by one. Meanwhile, Mew was the last to log in. She had modified the killing game simulator so she could accomplish a specific goal. After Mew confirmed we were all logged in, she took out the bottle of poison and placed it on Kokichi's seat. This was done to make it look like Kokichi was killed by poison when we returned. Yes, the reason Mew modified the simulator and brought us to the virtual world was to kill Kokichi in the virtual world, but make it look like he had died in the real world. After we had all logged in, Mew explained the world to us.
Shuichi's sprite looks so good there. Or avatar, I should say.
Use the salon phone to lock out. Objects are unbreakable. Your avatars use all 5 senses. She also explained the map of the virtual world in the mansion's entrance hall. But her explanation was intentionally false. She wanted us to misunderstand the world. However, one of us was able to see through her scheme.
Mm-hmm.
The very person Mew was trying to kill, Kokichi.
I mean, I understand why she would want to kill him, but either he or Maki would by far be the hardest person to kill, I think.
Kokichi was going to use Mew's plan against her and plotted her murder. But Kokichi wouldn't do it himself. He used a patsy to be the culprit in this case. Kokichi was tight-lipped about the motive, so I don't know why the culprit agreed. But it seems as though right after logging in, when Kokichi and the culprit went outside, they were already working together to execute the murder. Eventually, we met up with Kokichi and crossed the river to the chapel. Mew had us split up to try to find some secret of the outside world. Kaito, Kokichi, Gonta, Tsumugi, and I investigated the mansion, while Maki, Himiko, Kibo, and Mew investigated the chapel. Splitting us up was also part of Mew's plan. At the chapel, Mew told Maki that she was going to look around outside. She chased after our group while we were heading toward the mansion. Once she made sure we were across, she dropped the bridge into the river. This was to trick us into thinking that the river separated the mansion and chapel. At the time, we thought nothing of it. It was just another one of Mew's pranks. That's why we continued with the original plan to find the secret of the outside world. We went to the mansion and split up to look for clues. Kokichi searched the salon. Kaito searched the roof. Tsumugi searched the dining room.
This art style is so cool, though.
I searched the kitchen. And finally, the culprit searched outside the mansion. Around that time, Mew was headed for the wall that was on the side of the chapel. She passed through the wall and headed for the mansion to kill Kokichi. You see, the wall was a special wall that Mew had added herself. This wall was programmed so that only objects could pass through. And Mew had changed her avatar settings from human to object.
This was just another case in this game which was very almost the perfect crime.
That was the hidden route she prepared for herself. She set up a wall that only she could pass through. Mew headed toward the mansion, but she was seen by Tsumugi on the way. When she entered the mansion, she pulled out her cell phone. She didn't tell us that there was another way to log out. Then, she spoke a name into the phone, which forced that person to log out. It was Kaito who was on the roof at the time. The same roof where Kokichi and Mew were going to meet. By having Kaito search the roof and then forcing him to log out, she was making him look the most suspicious, but her plan didn't go smoothly. Kokichi was waiting on the roof with a culprit and the toilet paper used to kill Mew. While Mew was distracted by Kokichi, the culprit snuck up from behind. And used the toilet paper from the mansion's bathroom to strangle Mew. This was only possible because objects in the virtual world are unbreakable. Mew's avatar was strangled to death, and the shock killed Mew in the real world. After the murder, Kokichi left the cleanup to the culprit and left the roof. He probably returned to the salon as soon as he could to avoid drawing suspicion. The culprit then took the lattice from the storage room and placed Mew's body on top along with the hammer and the cell phone. The culprit heaved the lattice over the railing and forcefully slid it down the roof slope. With a body on top of it, the lattice became a makeshift sled and flew off the roof. It went through the wall that only objects can pass through before crashing into the chapel. That was the crashing sound that Kibo heard in the chapel and we heard in the mansion. Mew's wall hid the fact that the mansion and chapel were actually right next to each other. That's why Tsumugi and I were able to hear the crash from the mansion. As the final step, the culprit had to then get off the roof. Because we were at the mansion, they couldn't take the stairs or they'd be seen. So they used the toilet paper again to escape from the rooftop. They hung the toilet paper from the binoculars on the roof and used it like a rope to climb down. Once the culprit was safely on the ground, they pulled at the toilet paper to retrieve it. They would have returned it to the bathroom, but they ran into us as we were leaving the mansion. In a panic, the culprit tossed the toilet paper somewhere nearby. Without that one little mistake, we might never have solved this case because the culprit doesn't remember. This is the truth you've forgotten, Gonta Gokuhara, the ultimate entomologist.
I can't believe this. Oh.
Gonta, this is the truth we've reached.
Sorry. Gonta not really understand, 'cause Gonta not smart boy. But if everyone agree, then everyone probably right. Gonta, trust everyone.
And that was your downfall.
Gonta.
But why? Gonta kill Mew, forget everything. Gonta even think he not do anything bad. And then Gonta tried to blame someone else and make everyone suffer. Why? Why Gonta do such terrible thing?
You can't hold yourself responsible for this.
Gonta, it's not your fault.
It's Kokichi's fault. He must have tricked Gonta.
Huh? I totally didn't trick him. Before we go into that, it's voting time. We should finish up the class trial first.
But is this the right answer? We're not being fooled by Kokichi?
For once, I wish that we were.
Huh? Wrapping things up already? What a buzzkill of an ending! It lacks the rush of previous voting times.
Oh no, what is gonna happen?
Well, after so many killing games, I guess it was bound to happen eventually. It's just as well. This killing game is a bad influence on the baby.
Oh my, Monotaro. You're even starting to look like a father.
Stop talking about your children. Child. Baby.
Yeah! I gotta get my act together for the baby.
Stop it.
Now then, pull yourselves together and let's begin!
Oh man, I knew this was gonna come into play somehow.
Heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
This is not gonna go straightforwardly, is it? I really don't want to press this button right now, but...
It seems the voting has finished. Now then, let's see the result.
I knew someone would vote for Kokichi. I was really concerned for a moment that they were gonna split the votes. I feel like the game wouldn't do that. But we had how many votes? We had 8 votes? I thought they were gonna make it so that you could split the vote and make it 4 and 4. But, nah, I guess not.
Who'll be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Oh, man. How did we do? Pretty well. I gotta say, I wasn't a fan entirely of the trial or the investigative part of this case. I thought it was actually really quite easy, but the actual narrative behind it was really, really good. So it kind of made up for it. Yeah, okay, that mind mine didn't go well. We'll just pretend that didn't happen.